Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
The one and only Tovah Feldshuh is taking, who knows what she can take, she's working so much, but she's back on Broadway, and she's starring now in Funny Girl, and I love that. She's playing Fanny Bryce's mama, Mrs. Bryce, and you know we had talked to Jane Lynch, who played that part, and is now off. So, Tovah, this is exciting, and this isn't the only thing you're doing.
I had the honor of playing Dr. Ruth Westheimer in Becoming Dr. Ruth by Mark St. Germain through December and part of January in New York City at the magnificent Safra Hall, the Museum of Jewish Heritage. And Ruth and I very much would like to take that piece off Broadway, and I hope we will. So we were working on that, and then all of a sudden, I got a call from my beautiful friend, Daryl Roth. It must have been April, May, perhaps, saying, do you have any interest in playing Fanny Bryce's mother in Funny Girl? I said, I'm not uninterested. And I went to see the show and saw the incredible Jane Lynch in the part of Rosie Bryce, and saw the entire production, which was astonishingly wonderful and lavish. It's a real Broadway talent-filled extravaganza. And of course, I said I would love to play the part, and was offered the role at that time to replace the extraordinary Jane Lynch, who's actually leaving August 14th, and I will be taking over September 6th with Leah Michelle, who has wanted to play Fanny Bryce for decades, literally for decades, and that part has marinated in her for quite some time. So she's going to, she'll be a Grand Slam home run, and it'll be an honor to support her and play her mother. And, then we have these other astonishing talents in it. Raman I think it's Karimlu, or maybe Karimlu. Whatever it is, he's of Iranian descent.
Yeah,
he's a fabulous actor.
Good actor.
Right, and Jared Grimes, of course, got the Tony nomination for Best Supporting for his extraordinary work, both tap dancing and acting Eddie Ryan. It'll also be my 10th Broadway show, and in May of 2023, because Leah and my contract go right through to June of 2023, in May of 2023, I'll be celebrating my 50th year on Broadway.
Oh, my gosh, Tovah.
Yeah, I made my debut. Yeah, made my debut in Cyrano with Chris Plummer at the Palace Theater in May of 1973. So that's what I'll be doing in September. However, I was also offered 2 features and a television series, and I took them all, Joan. When the tide is up and you're with good people. So I just finished.
How can you say no?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Also, it was a big vote for not having any plastic surgery. I mean, I think I have the map of New York all over my face. I have so many lines, but it is.
No, you look good.
Thank you.
Very good. Wait, so is this the series called Shelter that you're doing?
That's right. I'm doing a series called Shelter based on the books of Harlan Coben, and I'm very excited about it. I play a central character that he calls Bat Lady. In fact, her name was Lizzie Sobek, but that's her backstory, which is a mystery and cannot be shared on your fantastic radio show. But I'm basically an older, wise oracle for the series, and I live in an in a house with an overgrown lawn, etc. There'll be enough scary stuff about her that I don't have to be scary. I can just be wise. But I'm very excited about it because they're working with the production company of Funny Girl, and I'll be shooting when I'm not performing through November 18th. So that was great. And then I got 2 features. And so I'm in Detroit at this moment, the day I'm speaking to you, filming an extraordinary piece called A Girl Like Him, written by...
What is that?
I play the grandmother of a non-binary granddaughter. So let me explain what I understand non-binary to be. Non-binary is a definition of self. It's an identity. Like I would, I don't know what I could compare it to, but the difference between a lesbian, a homosexual, and a heterosexual is that, but let us say I happen to be a heterosexual, married to Andrew Harris Levy for 45 years. That is my sexual preference. That is the sexuality I practice. Lesbians declare themselves, they prefer women. Homosexuals prefer men. Non-binary doesn't talk about who you prefer. It talks about your own identity, saying that I have a fluid sexual identity. I can feel male, I can feel female, I can make love with men, I can make love with women. I am fluid and want to be referred to in the plural. So if you and I were talking about a non-binary woman across the room and we were wondering where she was going to get, I would say, do you know where their coat is? I wouldn't say, do you know where her coat is? Do you know where their coat is? So when I was offered this role, I said, why not? I have so much to learn and to make sure I'm part of this millennium. I mean, here I am, a senior citizen all of a sudden, and make sure that I'm in connection with what's happening with the generations that are coming up. So Amy Weber wrote this. Danny Roth is producing it. Tina Weber, who is a partner of hers, is another producer, and I'm sitting here in Plymouth, Michigan, at the Inn at St. John's, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's a seminary, Joan, that was converted into a luxury golfing resort.
How
so
nice.
They have a meditation garden. That's where I study my life. So I'm doing this picture, and before that, as a proud resident of the Hamptons, as well as New York City, I did a piece called Dirty Rhetoric with Julie Halston for 2 weeks in July, and we filmed it in Southampton. And I was by a young, crazy, eccentric, marvelous filmmaker named James Evans, produced by Amy Gaipa. So there you have it, 2 features, a television series, and going back to Broadway. And I'm giving every single piece my all, as they well
As
deserve.
you always do.
Try
but
to,
unbelievable, I know. And so much of life is so confusing now to a lot of us. But you're doing it all. Now tell me about Lilyville, the book, the mother, daughter, and other roles I've played.
I'm very excited because Lilyville came out April 13th during the pandemic in 2021, and I was invited, of course, to the East Hampton Book Fair then on its debut year. But I was invited back this year, which thrills me. And I'm raising money for certain charities, one of them in Palm Beach in January. And they just purchased 250 of them as the gift
How nice.
for the people. So I was very thrilled. Basically, I had a marvelous mother, Lily Feldshuh, who won't be exactly absent as Rosie Bryce. There'll be elements of Lily that are in Rosie. I can promise you that. So she lived till over 103. She was born in 1911 and died in 2014.
Wow.
And it talks about the rainbow of our relationship. It was not always a close relationship, and it was not always a relationship without challenges and great, profound disagreements. But what happened is that she lived so long that we solved it all, and particularly in the last 18 years of her life, when she was a widow, when my father had died on May 11th, 1996. From then on, I not only made sure I was a good daughter so I could hold my head up when the people who gave us our lives pass away. I want to be able to say I did the best by my parents. It's that she was phenomenally wise, incredibly funny, and very resilient. She used to, at 101, she said, "Oh, the good old days when people were alive." I mean, she was very, very, very witty. I took her to, she came to every show I ever did. except she always said to me, "I'm not coming to see you in the Virginia monologues." I can't say the word.
Oh, God.
But it's
Your
hysterical.
kids are so lucky to have had her in their lives.
Yes, they are. And we have 4 beautiful grandchildren. One is named Sydney, after my father, Sydney, a little girl, Sydney Mae Kirk Levy. That's my son's oldest daughter. And my daughter's daughter, Amanda's daughter, Camille Willa, her Hebrew name is Lila, which is my mother's Hebrew name, Lila Malka, Queen of the Night. So Lila.
Beautiful.
So that, life is good, Joan. And like yourself, I appreciate, I'm so grateful for every day I've got my health and my marbles, that I'm still operating on 8 cylinders. So there you go. That's
for sure. And with all this, are you doing concerts, or you don't have time now for your one-woman shows?
No, I do. I am not accepting any concert gigs. I am, hopefully on September 12th, appearing with a young comedic musical group called the Skivvies. They're playing Joe's Pub at the Public Theater.
No, it's great. I love that.
Yes, but they perform in their underwear. So I said, I don't think you can count on me for that. However, Joan, I do weigh 112 pounds. I'm at my Pippin weight. I'm all muscle.
Hey, that's great. What are you doing?
Yeah. I went on Noom, Noom. I love it. It's in my phone. And I went from, I would say, looking like I belonged to an Eastern European gymnastic, looking a little chunky to, getting very lean the same way, exactly the same weight I was in Pippin. So I feel like going back to Funny Girl is like being paid to stay lean and fit. Yeah, that's right. Really, it is. It really is. I hope to be tap dancing in it with Jared Grimes, because I do tap dance. And I know that wasn't Jane's choice because she is not a tap dancer, but I tap danced for Richard Rodgers in 1974, right before Yentl went to Broadway, and loved to tap dance. So there you go.
And what about that film? I forget if you had mentioned it to me. Armageddon Time. Armageddon Time has world release on November 11th. We were invited to the Cannes Film Festival. Wow.
And, that was a thrill. I went to Cannes, and I was gratefully, I'd just done I was gratefully unemployed, so I was available to go to Cannes. I was doing a documentary in Venice, but it ended in time for me to go to Europe. It was absolutely spectacular, and an experience. It was unbelievable. And then, of course, I was with Anne Hathaway, who plays my daughter. Jeremy,
I love her.
My son-in-law. She's amazing. And I was playing opposite Tony Hopkins. He was my husband. So, I mean, it was a thrill. Can you imagine working with an A-team like that and James Gray directing and writing it? And one night when we were walking home, Andy and I rented an apartment, beautiful 2-bedroom apartment in Cannes near the Croisette. And we were walking home, and we met James by happenstance, and he was talking to Julia Roberts. So I got to meet in much more informal circumstances than when I was at her opening night when she was on Broadway. I got to meet and speak with Julia Roberts, who's just heaven. She's a very kind person, like Annie Hathaway, very kind, very kind.
Unreal. So, Tovah, you going to give yourself a break before you step on the Broadway stage?
I can't. I'm doing this movie now, and then I fly home Saturday to be in East Hampton for the book fair. I'll take Sunday off, and Monday are fittings for Funny Girl again and Shelter, and I have a tap dancing lesson. I'm very excited. And then we sail into rehearsals. The rehearsals are only 5 or 6 days a week, and I've got 3 weeks to get it together, and I'm going to get it together. I have
full faith.
Funny Girl.
All right, I can't wait to see you in everything, and I hope you're... Yeah, well, you'll call me when we're all in the country, but I hope your Dr. Ruth project gets picked up, because it would be a great series.
I would love it. I also want to thank Sonia Friedman. I've never worked for the British producer Sonia Friedman until this moment. So she was one of the spearheaders, along with Roy Furman and I guess Darryl and other Broadway producers, to choose me for Rosie Price, and I'm most grateful.
I'm so happy for you, and I look forward to talking to you again. You've got to take a moment to breathe or two, but unbelievable. The one and only Tovah Feldshuh. Go see her on Broadway. Go see her in the movies. Everywhere you look, she's there and doing absolutely brilliantly. I'll talk to you very soon, Tovah.
Much love, Joan. Thank you.
You too.
Hello, folks. Larry Kudlow here. Pay attention, because China is leading the largest anti-American alliance since World War II. One that's already dumped U.S. bonds, grabbed 43 million acres of our farmland, and is plotting to dethrone the dollar. That's why IRA and 401k savers are protecting their savings with gold. Please go to freegoldguide.com/Kudlow or just call 800-621-3908 for your free gold guide on how to protect your wealth with gold 100% tax-free.